Hey everybody, Mega Ruler 31 back at it after a weekend off. McKinley 412 did great covering the videos. I was doing NASCAR with TK Nation. We crushed it, so very good results there. And yesterday we had a very light 3-game slate in MLB, but today we have all 15 teams playing, maybe, because there's about 7 games that have weather issues. 3 of them pretty serious weather issues, maybe postponed, and then there's 4 other ones where it's kind of up in the air. So definitely need to keep an eye on that. So I'm not going to do a full format of the video. I will give you the top pitchers and stacks. I won't run through every single game just because there's so many weather issues. And then I will give you a lineup construction at the end as usual. So let's look at pitching. First pitcher up is Shane Bieber against St. Louis. No problem with him. He's been strong this year. Been out there. Cardinals aren't a great lineup, mostly right-handed against him. So I think he's going to be a top pitcher in the slate. A little bit of weather concern there. So we'll have to see what's going on there. So no problem taking him. Cardinals only have a 3.09 total. I think he's in an excellent spot. But again, the weather's the only downside. Tyler Glasnow is the next one at 10K. I think I'm going to take him over Beaver. He gets to Washington Nationals. He's up against John Lester, who's probably going to give up a lot of runs to Tampa Bay. It's in a pitching ballpark, and this national team, has been okay at times against right-handed pitching, but I just think Glasnow is just having such a great season that he's probably my favorite pitcher. But again, you really can't go wrong with he or Bieber. The next guy up, again, a really good pitcher, is going to be Walker Buehler. He's on the road against Pittsburgh Pirates, which is another great matchup. So any of these 3 you can go with, but I think I'm going with Glasnow. If we're splitting hairs here, he's the one that I think is in the pitcher's park and the good matchup I like the most. But Walker Buehler, again, I think he has a pretty long leash with the pitcher who likes to pull pitchers early. I think Bauer has a little bit longer one, but Buehler is pretty good. So any of these 3, depending on your price range, but I'm going to lock in Glasnow. Rendon, if you want to go in a GPP against Toronto, he's been having a good season. So there's pretty much the ones that are around the high 9, 10K range. For mid-range ones, we have a lot of good ones. And if you want to skip one of these guys up top and go all on such a large slate, go like 2 mid-range guys, do not hate it at all. Chris Bassett gets Arizona. They're a huge favorite in this game against that pitcher. We have a 5.9 total. Arizona has a 3.41 total. It's in Oakland, so definitely like Bassett there. Pablo Lopez picks up Colorado, who is horrible outside of Coors. This game's in Miami, Pitchers Park. Some strikeouts in that lineup. I know, Tapia and Blackman and McMahon have the split advantage for the rest of the teams, pretty much right-handed. So there's a split advantage for the pitcher there. And McMahon's been banged up, so I don't know if he's even going to play. So definitely like him there. Sonny Gray is the next one up. He gets this Milwaukee team. It's in the Great American Small Park. There might be some weather issues, so I think he's the least one that I like here in this equation, but he's definitely someone to consider if you don't have enough for Bassett or Lopez if you need to save like $300-400. Sorry, I skipped Framber Valdez, who's in between them. He's actually comes in at 8.6. He gets the Boston Red Sox. I really like him against this lineup. JD Martinez didn't play on Monday. They have like Arroyo leading off, so over Kiki, which didn't quite understand that. Kiki's been a little bit cold recently, but I know it's pretty much there's a lot of good righties in this lineup usually, but Valdez has had a really strong season so far. And this one has weather issues, though, so I'm a little bit concerned about it. So we'll just have to watch that. But I think he's definitely playable. But my favorite pitcher in the 8K range is right at 8K. It's Alex Wood. I think I'm going to lock him in with Glasnow. He's going to be my SP2, and he gets the Texas Rangers. It's a lefty against Texas. Most of their power comes from their lefties, and he's been able to neutralize them. So I think he's going to go out there and get some strikeouts and have a really solid game. And they're facing Jordan Lyles, who's not a good pitcher on the other side, and we'll get to that when we get in bats, but I think they're going to definitely put up some runs against them, so the win equity is definitely there. Dropping down below that, I think Jordan Montgomery against Minnesota could be a good GPP play. Minnesota's been banged up. Cruz, and I think there was somebody else that was a right-handed bat that was questionable in the lineup when I looked earlier. So if those guys are out, if Minnesota throws out that double-A lineup, not even the triple-A lineup against them, I think, he's definitely interesting. He could, but then again, I'd pay the $100 more and just play Woods. So unless you're doing something cute and trying to go Woods Montgomery and get a stack of like a lot of expensive bats, then that could possibly work, but I'm not really interested in that. Really, not many other cheap bats. Andrew Heaney has been boom or bust. He either does really well or gets blown up. He gets Kansas City, who still is missing a couple pieces. So in Kansas City's been boom or bust. So there's definitely a lot of different ways that game could go. Matt Boyd, I think, has struggled last couple games, but he's been in tough matchups. He gets Seattle. Being a lefty kind of neutralizes Kyle Seager. So if you want to go for a really cheap pitcher in a GPP that's has some floor, I think he's definitely the one to look at. And I think the lowest I would possibly go here is Sensatella at 5'9". At playing the Miami, he's pitched pretty well even in Coors this year. He just doesn't get strikeouts too much. And the Marlins, I think their team strikeout totals 25%. So there's not many Ks in that Marlins lineup, and he's not a K pitcher. But if you want somebody cheap that's probably not going to get blown up, then you're trying to do something to get a lot of expensive bats in, then it might be worth considering. Okay, let's look at stacks. Favorite stack definitely is going to be Houston, and hoping that the weather holds up against Martin Perez. He's a lefty. These Houston righties I love. Altuve, Correa, Bregman, Gurriel, Alvarez, I'll even throw in the stack. Kyle Tucker too, because he's hit lefties and righties well. Or maybe even I'll drop down, and if McCormick or Straw is up there, Modellano, the catcher, do a wraparound thing. There's so many options here. Favorite stack, definitely. Second one is going to be Oakland against John Duplantier. Not a good pitcher. They have a 5.09 total at home. I like the lefties here. They're up at the top. I'd even put Canna in the stack leading off there. He seems to be good against either. And Arizona bullpen isn't great either. So Kemp, Olsen, Brown, Lowry, I'd put them all in there. Mitch Moreland, if he cracks the lineup too. The only problem is you have to decide on DK between Olsen and Moreland. I'm always going to go Olsen, but if you want save some money or make your stack a little bit different, then Moreland is always a good play to throw in there. Hits righties very well. Next stack that I really like is San Francisco Giants. They are starting to get healthy. Brandon Belt is projected to be back in the lineup. Jordan Lyles is a horrible pitcher. It's going to be hot in Texas, so the ball's going to be flying. So Wade leading off, I'm fine with. I'm fine throwing Buster Posey, and even though he's a righty, he's been hitting well this year too. Dickerson, Belt, Crawford, Duggar. Even if you want to go on the bottom of the lineup, Tauchman, Vossler, I think they're only going to possibly throw two righties at him. So I think, and the bullpen isn't great either. So I think great hitting situation. Love San Francisco here. Final one for main stacks, I think it's going to be Baltimore. David Peterson has given up a lot of hard contact. So Mancini, Santander, Galvis, Mountcastle, Franco. Probably would skip Mullins at the top of the lineup with the lefty on lefty matchup, but lots of great plays here. I think, I love to put in cheap catchers. Wins, which is a great name for DFS. You know, that's what you want, the wins. He's only 2.1K, has the right split advantage. So definitely a cheap catcher that we could go with there. GPP stacks, Cincinnati in the small park against Hauser. He got blown up a little bit last time he faced them. I think I like them there, but a little bit rain in the forecast, so we're gonna have to watch them. Especially like the lefties. Hopefully Naquin's back in the lineup. Winker, Naquin, Castellanos continues to be a good hitter there. So maybe not a 5-minute stack, but taking 3 there. I like Philly against Smiley, especially the righties in this lineup: Real Muto, Hoskins, Segura. He's been split neutral against left too, so I definitely, if Harper is the lineup, throw him in there. Herrera is usually cheap leading off, so if you want to go full 5-man there, no problem. Cleveland, I like the Indians there against Carlos Martina. McKinley 412 has been all over targeting Martinez this year and has worked so many times. He's kind of a reverse switch pitcher, so righties, lefties, Ramirez. So like them in a GPP. The Angels against Bubik. Rendon's really starting to hit. Otani's a right-hander. Not sure about Iglesias, but Upton, maybe the top 3 there. Maybe if you wanted to throw in Iglesias and Sashi, you could do that. Take some of the bottom guys, do a wraparound stack. But for me, I think it would just basically be probably the top 3 in that lineup. But they do have a 4.63 run total, so that's really nice. Some YOLO things to look at. If you want to try Detroit against Gonzalez, he's struggled a little bit, but there's a lot of weather there. He has given up some power. He's a lefty. It's almost pretty much an all righty lineup. So I like them as a stack. Is one of my favorite cheap YOLO stacks there. Kansas City would be another one. Heaney is really good or he's really bad. So you can throw in like Merrifield, Perez, Santana, maybe skip Benintendi, maybe throw in Hunter Dozier. I'd probably only go 3 or 4 there. I would go full 5-man. Tampa Bay is a great stack and a great position against John Lester. They're not my other 2 stacks just because the righties are so expensive. Margot and Diaz, if they lead off 1 and 2, they're only 3K, but Meadows at 5K, around like Randy Perez, I can never say his name. You know who I'm talking about, though. He's 5.5 there. Maybe some of the lower end of this stack, like if you went like Brucheo, Wall, Zunino, there, filling in some of the infield spots. Like if you're stacking them with somebody else, they're not too outrageously priced. And the final stack would be the Mets against Zimmerman, but they're pretty high priced again too. Alonso might be one of the better plays on the slate, but at 5'8", he's gonna be hard to put in your lineup. So, but in GPP, maybe it's something you can figure out. But Pilar, Lindor, McCann, Alonso, Nito at catcher at 3-1 isn't bad. So there would probably be your 5-man stack there. They're starting to get healthy, and they have a 4.66 run total against him. Again, weather's a little problem. So let's look at a quick lineup construction. Again, let's just hope that the Houston game plays. I think my favorite construction is going to be Glasnow and Wood there. Catcher, if I throw in Win from Baltimore at 2-1. I do like Nottingham a lot also for Seattle. So if I do have somebody left, I might pay up a little bit on catcher, but I'm going to throw Win in right now just to see what's going on. Houston stack, I love Gurriel, Altuve, Bregman, Correa, Alvarez. Again, like I said, you can mix it up and throw in Tucker if you want a little bit more. If one of the other guys, like McCormick or somebody, hits higher up in that lineup too, I think they're definitely viable. If you want to go Maldonado at your catcher and do a wraparound thing, that works too. But doing that, it leaves you 2 outfield stat for like 2.9K each, which there's some really good plays on that. If they're not playing, then I said Oakland would be my other pick to go. So for Oakland, we are going to throw in, let's find them here. Oakland, we are going to take Olsen, Lowry, Kemp, because he's been hitting pretty high. I said I'm fine with Kana and Seth Brown if he's in the lineup. So right there, that leaves you third base and shortstop, and it actually is a decent amount of money left here. It leaves you 5-3 for each, so definitely can get some good plays there. You could pay up at catcher on this one. So Tatis is actually a really good play against Davies, even though it's a righty. So if you take him at shortstop, and then that still leaves you a decent amount of third base. So I think that's where I'm going to go. So like I said, a lot of options. Got to watch the weather. Glasnow Wood's favorite, but top three: Bieber, Glasnow, Buehler. Definitely could go with any of them, or due to the mid-range guys and stack the bats. Wood, Bassett, probably my favorite too, but Valdez, if the weather holds up against the Red Sox, Lopez, Gray, great matchup. So Houston, Oakland, San Francisco, Baltimore, top stacks. Cincinnati, Philly, Cleveland, LA Angels, GPP ones, and then maybe some small stacks or YOLO stacks of Detroit, Kansas City, Tampa, or Mets. So good luck today. Thanks for watching. Please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, recommend to some friends, and we'll see you next time.